Hey y'all. Y'all asked for it, so we're gonna do it. A lot of people have been talking about doing dice, D&D dice. If you grew up in the 80s like me, you definitely know what that is. Anyway, and a lot of people were wondering about bubbles and, you know, if you had to use a chamber pot or the other machines that remove bubbles. It's escaping my mind, but that's very expensive when you're starting out as a new resin artist. So I'm going to show you some techniques that you can get bubble-free dice without breaking your bank. So this mold I got from Let's Resin, and it lines up. You'll see here there are, so it easily lines up. So when you take the lid off, you see there's numbers that imprint on the top of your dice when you fill it. So it's easy with this to get it lined up, and it seals. And what I do is I fill this mold, let it sit for about 2 hours, and then I flip it upside down so the resin will imprint the numbers from the cover. So that's how I'm sure I get that. But let's show you a few techniques you can use to prevent bubbles in your dice without breaking the bank, getting an expensive machine. So I want to talk about one thing, because I did tell y'all, and one thing that I use for my dice is a syringe. You know, if you have kids or grandkids, you draw up their medicine in a syringe to measure a teaspoon or whatever, and it's easier to give it to them. You have more control and you're not choking them to death using droppers or whatever. So I am out of syringes. I discovered when I wanted to make this video. No big deal. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take a pipette and I'm gonna trim it. I'm gonna cut it so I have a wider opening. So I just cut it there. And to prevent bubbles in this, I'm gonna squeeze in, and I wanna put it, I already mixed up my resin so you didn't have to watch that either. And for this set, I decided I would use the Holographic glitter by Let's Resin, and I'm using the aqua blue and the silver, because I know after this sets up, we have to color our numbers, right? And you can do that a few different ways too. You can use acrylic pens, acrylic paint. I love using Let's Resin chrome pens. So I wanted something that I could use the chrome pen, either copper or gold, to fill the numbers in. That's why I chose these colors, not for really any other reason. And I love the holographic glitter. It's gorgeous. So let's start by doing this. I pinch a pipette, I put it in, and I let it set. And I have one for each color, because I'm gonna do these two-tone. So let me snip that off. Put this in, let it draw up. And I have huskies, so you're gonna hear her. She thinks she owns our neighborhood. Anyway, Kira, no ma'am. All right, so we're gonna start filling the dice, and I'm only gonna fill halfway. All right. Oh, the other thing I usually do, and I didn't in that one, I have alcohol in a spray bottle for this reason too. I spray it. That also will help with bubbles. So let's put some silver in this one, and then I'll show you one technique that I use on. Now it's not filled all the way up. And what I do is I go underneath the mold and I pinch, and see how it pushes the resin up? It will allow bubbles to come up and pop, but it also sucks the resin back down into those crevices. So it's a solid connection there. Okay, so I fill it halfway, and then I spray more alcohol, and then I fill it the rest of the way up till it's level. And like I said, I'm alternating colors just because I thought it would be cool. All right, so I'm gonna leave that right there for now. And like I do with my cakes or cupcakes, I'm gonna pat my mold against the table. That will also help any bubbles come to the surface. Now I'm not gonna squeeze hard, but I'm gonna squeeze gently so it goes back down in the mold. My guy's at home watching YouTube too, so if you hear that in the background, I'm sorry. All right, we're gonna get these ready for our next one. And I'm gonna fill all these up. I'm probably only gonna show you a couple of these, and I'll fill the rest real quick. But what color combinations would you guys use doing this? What do you think would look good? My son actually, I made him and his friends some sets, and they kind of shocked me. They actually wanted marble. I was like, okay, that's kind of weird, but if that's what y'all want, no problem. So I made them marble sets. Y'all saw a picture of the red set that I did. So I did red and gold. I've done purple with silver. It's really up to you and your imagination or what your people request. Maybe they have a color combination that they use when they're gaming. You can match that. Squeeze it. Add some more. And if you do use a syringe, this is the trick for that. I draw the color up in the syringe, and just like a nurse when they're doing a shot, turn it over and I flick the syringe so the air comes to the point where the needle would be, and then slowly squeeze until all of that air is out and it's just resin at the tip. Just like nurses do, they squeeze out the air so there's no air going into the shots when they inject you. It's the same thing. You remove the air that way. Okay, now we'll go to our next one. And if you use these little pipettes, squeeze them before you put it down in the resin. Squeeze everything out, and it's not getting air. So that helps keep air out too. And bubbles. Bubbles are our nemesis, right? So I'm gonna squeeze that. I'm going to squeeze the bottom. Make sure it's in every little crevice down there. And you can lift it up. I can't turn it over, but you can look underneath and you can see if there's any air. And just squeeze that little area until it's clear. And the first time I tried these dice, I had the individual dice molds. Oh my goodness, let me tell you, I do not recommend that. It was horrible because they have a little hole in the top of the lid and you're supposed to get the resin down through that hole. Boy, let me tell you, that didn't work out very well at all. That was horrible. So, I love this mold by Let's Resin. It makes it so much easier. Squeeze everything out. Squeeze everything out. Okay. Fill this halfway. Squeeze it out so it's ready to go again. Add some alcohol. I just saw some bubbles popping. going to squeeze from every side at the bottom to make sure they're all okay. And again, going to pat. Doing that, I saw a couple bubbles here pop. And I'm gonna make sure this is very flush before I put the lid on, because the lid is gonna suction to the top, and I wanna make sure that it's in contact with the numbers here. Otherwise, you won't have numbers on your dice that you need, and that will be no good. While I'm doing this, y'all do me a favor. Make sure you're liking. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure you subscribe and turn on the notification bell, because I have some really cool stuff coming up. I learned a lot of techniques starting out that really saved me and helped me, and when I was just starting out, that I love to share with other people. So make sure you're doing all the YouTubey stuff. I do have some videos up. One of my favorite things is alcohol ink, and I do acrylic coasters with alcohol ink on clear acrylic. But I have a video up that shows you how I make these. I'm gonna be doing some more alcohol ink stuff too. So after you finish this one, go look that up if that interests you. Very fun, very clean, easy way to make some coasters. That's a fun time. I'm really loving, I love how alcohol ink dances. And you can do alcohol ink with these dice too. Very easy way. Just put some resin down there, put some, halfway through, fill it halfway, add a few drops of your favorite color alcohol ink, let it do its thing, and go from there. Now you see all this on the top? I'm gonna wipe that off before I seal it. Put the lid on. Again, squeezing it all, letting it get up there without bubbles. All right, we have one more to go. Man, right? Seriously. I'll try to get some of that background noise out before when I edit the video. Now I always keep a wipe nearby when I'm doing resin. Baby wipes are incredible. Super incredible, especially when you start to do your numbers with your either acrylic pen, a chrome pen, whatever you decide to use. If something gets out of a number, this is a very easy way to fix that, because those pens wipe up that acrylic chrome, or the chrome pens. The baby wipes clean it up really good, just like that. See, ta-da! It's all clean around. Now I'm gonna put just a little. I'm gonna top these off just a little bit, like I said, because I want the numbers at the top to have resin to sink into when I close it. Look, there's a bubble right there, and it just popped. Alcohol is doing its thing. So we're just going to top these off. So our numbers is here. So I would say it's domed just a little bit. There's another bubble. Pop. Okay. And it popped with alcohol. I don't see any more bubbles, so I think that's good. So, like I said, what I'm gonna do, here is the notch. Here's the notch on this. Let me move this over so I'm sure that you can see it. Okay, so there's a notch, and I'm just gonna line it all up. Now, you see we have contact. Now, we have contact on every dice. I'm not going to leave it up because it's got to set for a few hours. Okay? And looks like there's some bubbles here, so that's easy to cure. I'm going to lift this and spray some alcohol. There, it popped. I want to make sure that there's a couple bubbles here. So I'm going to lift this, spray some more alcohol, pop it back down. Okay. There. Okay. So that's that. We're going to let it sit for a few hours, and then when it's 2 hours are up, I'm going to come back, I'm going to flip it and let it sit upside down, so it cures that way too, just so I'm sure that everything is getting touched. Now this tray, I don't remember, I'm going to link everything that I'm using today in the description, so you can, it's just a quick click the description, click on the links and grab your own if you want. I think I got this from Amazon, I'll have to look. But this is just a little case. It has the swords and a big dice on it. So I'm just gonna do this. Well, let's spray some alcohol in here and on the lid. And then I really don't need this anymore. And I'm just gonna throw this away. Don't need this anymore. Just throw it away. I keep a trash can close, and I'm just gonna pour these any which way. Let them do their thing. Okay, I'm done with those. Here's my baby wipe. Wipe off my gloves. And I have some clear left that I'm just going to add to top this off. Whoop. Got a little bit much in there. It's all right, because I'm going to take my handy dandy stick. Take some out. There we go. I may put this part on fast forward for you guys. Alright, so takes care of that. Again, I will use my baby wipe to clean these up. Get that back in there like that. Okay. There's that. Alright, so again, baby wipe around the edge. Clean it all up. Makes life so much easier. Okay, so those are a few tricks that I hope help you guys out. I'm going to let that set up. I'm gonna fix this part so it's ready to, that will be the top for our case. And once everything is dry and set up, I will do a short tomorrow and show you how I unmold everything, and color the numbers. So right now, I think that covers all that I told you guys I was going to cover. So let's review real quick the techniques. The first one is spray alcohol in your mold, right? That'll help pop bubbles at the bottom. The second one is squeezing the bottom of the dice cavity to squeeze bubbles up and let the resin sink down. And the one I didn't have to show you, but is using a syringe to draw your resin up, flip it upside down, tap the bubbles and the air out, push it up so it's just resin at the top, and then use that. The syringe gives you a lot of control when you're filling these molds like this in little tiny areas. So that's my last trick for you guys. I hope you learned something. Leave me a comment. Tell me, did you learn something that you didn't know already? What colors would you have chosen? Would you use holographic? Would you use chameleon? Would you use alcohol ink? Share some ideas with me. Until then, I hope you like this. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you go like, subscribe, and comment. And I will see y'all in the next one.